Hello. Hi, hi. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Hope you are doing good. I'm just vibing to this music. Hi, Fluffy. Hi, Zeal. Hope you are doing good. Welcome, welcome. Another light breakfast. I mean, I do. You know, recently I feel like I should eat more light breakfast. Honestly. I look. Okay, I ate too much durian. Okay, too much durian means I mean, durian is like a very heated fruit. Right, it's a king of the fruit for a reason, right? So I ate too much. It gave me some sort of a stomach problem. I mean, sure, I've been trying to like cool myself down with after eating durian. They have like a saying of after you eat a bunch of durian, and then you're gonna get the husk of the fruit and the husk, the insides of the fruit, and pour water on it, and then just drink straight from it to reduce the heat of the fruit. It's like I guess that kind of works. I don't know if it's a myth or is it actually true, but I'll rather believe it anyway. Just like do it, you know, just do it. It doesn't hurt on anything. I mean, if it doesn't hurt and it helps, then yeah, it's a huge plus. But yeah, it has been during the durian season for a while, and might be eating a little bit too much durian lately. But it's good. I love durian. You know, I think no, I'm not gonna say most Malaysian like durian, no, because I just realized in my family of 7, there's like 2 that doesn't like durian. So you know what? Not all, not most, but I would say it's like a 50-50. Because honestly, durian is like an acquired taste. I love durian. I've been eating too much of it. It's so expensive too. Like holy shit! Like each container costs like 20 ringgit. It's like the D58 ones is like okay-ish. Like they're the okay-ish kind of durian. They're not like the top high tier kind of durian. But honestly, there is a difference between like all the durian susu and then to like the top D28 kind of durian, D something, right? So yeah, I mean they taste different. But honestly, I don't really like care too much. If I get to eat good durian, I eat good durian. If I don't get to eat good durian, I don't get to eat good durian. It's fine. But anyway, I'm gonna I think okay, yeah, I open it up. I'm gonna wait just a second. Yeah. Done. I'm small now. And I'm here now. Look at that. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. I don't know how much... I don't know how much there is left, but... Hey, I want to play more. I cannot wait to unlock Evolution. So that I can see Feraligatr. I mean, Totodile is cute. Bulba Belly is kinda cute too, but... I mean, Venusaur is okay-ish. I'm not a big fan of Venusaur, to be honest, but couldn't complain now that I got Bulbasaur. Okay. Looks good. It's a huge delay between that monitor and this monitor on OBS though. But it's alright. I don't see any like audio desync, so yeah, it's good. Let's play. Hi, Will. Welcome, Will. What? What? It's sunny out. It's raining. What? I'm sweating so much and then it suddenly rain. Did I miss the book? Did it work? Uh-oh. Wait. Why is it not working? Okay, Twitch settings account. Oh, it's not logged in. Okay. Sorry about that. It should work now? No, not this. Here. Why is it not working? Wait, no. Wait, no, wait. But why? Oh, no. You know what? I gotta reopen Streamer Bot because why not? Give me a second. My capture card is like slowly dying. It's like help. My capture card. It's like no. Can I just say though, the music in this game is like, I love. The music of this game is like pretty much all light-hearted, and I like it. Light-hearted music. Okay, this one account. It's locked in. It's locked in though. Oh yikes! The thing is not responding anymore. Oh, it's connecting. That's why. Okay, I'm just gonna play the game for now. It's okay. I have no helper, but I got 2 birds. Are you telling me that there's like a whole line of Pokemon that are gonna meet? That whole line from that 2 bird? Holy shit! I'm all about it. We're in the snow area. Okay, I don't know if it works. I just hope that it works. It is now completely connected. Oh, thank God it works. I can be booked again. Okay, so I think I also already managed these. Right, River Seed and everything. Got a bunch of gummy because I don't have apple. It's all good, right? It's all good. What? Oh. I have a head that's going through my snoot. Alright, let's continue this one. I think we're strong enough, right? We're bullet shit. Bullet cheat. Bullet cheat is good. Yeah, I'm ready. Which way should we go? Frosty forest or snow path? Forest? Is forest means it's gonna be like grass type? Snow path is probably just gonna be like ice type all the way? I don't want grass type. I need to use my leech seed. Snow path. Sure thing, let's roll it out. I love ankle biter. Snow path. The music? It's so cute. Eat ferret. Oh my god, eat ferret. Whoop. Oh wow. Oops. I didn't know I'm that strong. Yes, yip for ferret. You can cut corner with leech seed, right? Oh, I mean, it's dead. It's not dead. Now you're dead. Oh, the miss! And I got no I got no experience points out of that. Azumarill? Oh. I just leave that to to ankle fighter. I mean, Ankle Biter put out a used in Attract. Yeah. Nice. I did it. My level went up. 3 1 1 1 1 3 1 1 1 1 3 1 1 1 1 3 1 1 1 1. I think that's every room, unless there's some room up there. Oh, it's just a square dead end. Sleep. Oh, this is so cute. Oh my god, look at it, it's curled up sleep. How do you know the gender of the Pokemon? Oh. I think I should have just done that. No, that's such a good emo. Ooh, Tikaka nailed that one. Yay. I already bought all the friend zones. Oh. Oh god. Wait, you are rock type, right? So you're afraid of grass? Ow. Yeah, you're afraid of grass type.
Delicious.
Who? Oh my god, ferret! Ferret. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, you're so generous. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Uh oh. Oh, his attack fell. Big thank you, ferret. Oh wait, it's ferret. But I've been destroying ferret in this game. Uh-oh. No, it's a form of self-defense. I didn't mean to kill all... Well, not kill, but... fight the ferrets in this game. But yeah, thank you. Ipal. Oh, I should get the big belly at the start. Yeah, I should probably do that. Eat a gummy. All in. Efficiency expert. And what else did it say? Seems like this gummy. Fill up full. Okay, so now I can eat an apple. Boba Belly. Boba Belly is online now. Wait, Azumarill is not afraid of grass type? Isn't it water type? Bullet seed? Whoa. 2 times. Oh, this is a small room. Bubba belly. I'm already imagining like a, well, not too big of a belly, but maybe not on Bulbasaur, but still, it's happening. We have Bulbasaur belly. Yo, holy shit, it's a crit. Who's over there? Sleep. Boop. 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 Ah, boop. Nice. Hunger seed. Slightly lowers the Pokemon maximum belly size. It fused by the Pokemon other than the leader, its status changed to Hungry Pal. It also slightly fused the Pokemon belly. What? Is it even that good? It's a bad seed. I'll give that to Jade. No one tell Jade. Oh. Jade's gonna get the hunger seed. Ooh, that hurt. I didn't know bullet seed is like mega stunk. Not much. Okay. Randomly is a funniest ability in these games. Yeah, they just sort of run away. Uh-oh. Bullet Seed is like the strongest grass move in this. Oh! I got so lucky! Oh, did I chose the wrong path? What the? Isn't this where we started from? I guess that path just loops back from the start. Oh, wow, clever! If you want to move on, I think our only choice is the Frosty Forest. That's clever. So this one also means that if I went to the different place in Mountain Blaze, I'm just gonna loop back. Dragon! What? Dragon. 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 Hi, Ixen. Also, you've been blapping for a while? I'm gonna blab for this entire stream. Let's give it our best. Okay. Hi, Dragon. Hi, Ixen. This is a blab supremacy. Blab supremacy. Yes, blab. Oh, I haven't looked at oh. Crap, I haven't looked at Dither stream in a while. Oh, actually, I haven't seen them stream in a while. Hopefully they're okay. Maybe I just missed it. Also, I need to drink. What the Cobalt house plan? Yeah. No, Kobo's gonna drown. Too much water. Too much water. Milk is fine. Hi, Legs. Welcome. What? Hi, Brian. They did a stream a few days ago. Oh, they do. Crap, I missed it. I did it. The stream is such a vibe, honestly. Yes. Frosty Forest. Ugh. I'm gone. It's freezing cold, but we got this. So what? We're gonna meet with the bird this time? Oh, the music is spooky. Oh no. Tree. I made them a little gift, they liked it. Oh, for dinner? Oh. A dinner gift? I mean, to be honest, I don't like whenever I get to I will lurk at most channels, but Dither's channel, I feel like I don't really get to lurk as much. Feels like the time difference is not aligned. And then also I also remember like Dither's stream whenever I was there. Whenever I hear Dither yawn, Dither yawn is like Dither yawn is cute. What's on the list things? The full version. Oh, a full version of the dance? Oh my god. The dedication, holy shit. Oh, the pets and poops. Oh my god, thank you. Oh yeah, I do hope Lex and Brian is doing good. No. Okay, those are dead ends. Ooh, these are like some of the huge maps. So am I gonna do another 10th floor of this? Or like 13? Then where'd you come from? What if I... Okay, I'm gonna bully this ferret for a little bit. Or not, okay. Because I know for a fact that that's a dead end. What if the runaway triggers and then ferret just runs away? At the corner, cannot do anything. Rock. Buruchi. Ooh, 4 times, nice. That was 一箭双雕. Got him. That was a crit. And that's every room possible. This might be spooky, cobbled scared. Uh-oh. Sleep. Sleep. Leech. Heal. Bonk. What? But you were asleep? So I guess runaway just... Oh. It's okay, I'm missing SP attack. Runaway clears all... The status effect? Question mark? I feel like Bullet Leech is like OP. I mean, bullet seed alone carried me through Moltres yesterday. Oh. Wait, are you gonna go in there? Go in there, go in there. Go, go, go. You're gonna get bullied. It's a dead end. Oh no. Captain Ken. Hi. Welcome. Bullet seed kinda nice. Bullet seeds feels OP, honestly. Poor ferret. Bullying the fluffy noodle. I mean, the fluffy noodle is running away. I could just let it run away. But EXP points though. And Kobold's a big bully. 4 times? Raise a leaf. Sleep. Leech. Monk? Oh, I didn't get shit from that. Yeah, hello. Hope you're doing good. That looks like a dead end. No, it's not. Okay. Money. More. Oh my god, money. Whoa. Oh, Jade. Jade. I found a seed that you might like, but I stored it with you. Later I can show you. I'm sure the seed is very nice. It's it's not bad in any way. Come. Where'd you get the cum seed from? Oh my god. It's not cum seed. Oh. Also, hi Jade. Yeah, it's not cum seed this time. Cum seed. Is it even possible to get a cum seed? Got him. Okay, looking good. Oh. Oh. There. Oh. No, and Griefy is so adorable as well. Oh my god. Like there's so many adorable dragons out there. I'm gonna melt. This kobold is going to melt. So many adorable dragons out there. Bite rock. It's dead end? Oh my god, it is a dead end. Okay, that's all the rooms. I mean, there's probably one more in the top left, but I'm not even gonna go there anymore. Lazy. Transform? Oh! Oh shit, it Dito. What? What is this? Welcome? Hi? Thank you for serving you again. What's going on? Are you Dito? The music changed. I will next visit. Huh? This is a shop in the dungeon? So do I just... I don't think I take the things, right? $25? Orange berry 50. I want another apple. Oh, it's a big apple. I'm not gonna get that. I'm probably just gonna eat my own apple for like barely... Oh, I'm out of apple. You can pick up items to buy or drop to sell. Oh, well, I can sell my items. Well, I'm being watered. So I can drop this place. Yeah. Yeah. With a lot of orange berries, so it's fine. Boba Billy. Check for X-ray specs. What's an X-ray spec? I've been wanting to get into RPG Mario games lately. Oh, like the SNES version of Mario RPG? Oh. It's a handy item. Boba Belly? Blowback word. Oh, why are you struggling? Don't you have moves? Where did all your moves go? Oh. Oh, I see. That's why he's using struggle. X-ray spec. Oh, that's X-ray spec. What the fuck? It's 4,000? A whole item that enables the Pokemon to see the location of items and foes. Huh? I almost got 4,000. Whoa. Hey, look. I need that. Now can I buy it? Holding X-ray spec allows you to see enemies on the floor. I didn't know the glasses is the X-ray spec. I thought it's some sort of computer stuff. My patronage is valued. Huh? It's pretty far. I'm pretty far in now compared to how long it usually takes me to drop RPGs. Oh. And the car? It's worth it? I mean, it does sound very worth it, yeah. I'm gonna get it. Yes. I have the money. I'm out of money though. Sad cobalt noises. Stamina band or precious scarf. Precious scarf is good though. Stamina band is good for like these days or like these stages because apples and shit. I have a bunch of gummy. It's okay. You want my stamina band? You can have it. Ooh, yeah. I want this. Get. Yes. Thank you. And there's no dragon for me to simp yet. Now you can find all the items on this floor with the X-ray spec and sell it to kick. All items on this floor with the X-ray spec and sell it to kick. Oh. Is it only on this floor or forever? It should be forever, right? Oh, thanks for the boop. No, I want to keep the X-ray spec though. Bye bye. Oh, I can see all the enemy. Oh, that's wild. Oh, that feels weird. 2 items over there. Oh, this saves time. I'm keeping it. Endured. Ow. Barely endured. Doesn't get infatuated. Are you gonna endure forever? Well, endure this. Yeah, that's right. Wake up, friend. The items I see for X-ray they can be sold. Sell the found items of the specs. As long as you don't lose them at death, then yes, forever. Endure lasts for a few turns. That's fucking wild. That's a really strong endure. It's not just one turn. I will. And the milk, wow. Hey. Milk is good? I mean, yeah. Milk is good. So many milk. I feel like there's an audio delay, isn't it? A slight delay. A very slight delay, I see. Just a very slight one, I feel like. Oh, it's a sleeping Tito. I'm not gonna mess with that Tito. Ooh. Funny enough, I'm drinking something called milk. Milk? I love some milk. Hey yo, what's happening down there? Nothing. Nothing, don't worry about it. I want to sell the rock. Yeah, I'm not using rocks anymore. Sleeper. Oh, holy shit. It's actually really good. I mean, of course, it's milk. Can I shop in peace? Heck, Leon, help! I love this shopping mechanic. It's actually so adorable. I think the rest is fine. Yeah, I just want to sell the rocks. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, thank God. It's actually really good. It's carbonated milk. Carbonated milk. Wait. So it's like soda but milk? I kinda want to try it. It's good, I swear. I mean, I trust you. Someone has intruded upon the forest. Oh my god, it's the ice bird. The enfeebled flow of icy winds is the intrusion to blame. It must be stopped. Dude, for it is the protect. Oh my god, stupid! Everyone is stupid in this game. What the fuck? I'm just here, traveling through the forest, and then everything is trying to kill me when I'm trying to find the truth. I can't sometimes, holy shit. To protect the forest, talk first before killing everything that they're just like traveling around. Oh, money. I love X-ray spec. I know where everything is. It's so good. More like a carbonated yogurt. Wait, that's even better. I'm a huge fan of yogurt. Uh-oh. That hurt. Why spamming powder snow? I mean, it's good, I get it. Powder snow? No? Alright, we good. We took everything here. More rock? I love rock. Like all kobolds do, rocks are great. Lyran? Was it mud slap? Your mud slap hits immediately with the accuracy down. Oh, fuck. Ooh, this thing's strong. Sleep. Oh, I didn't get EXP points out of that. Ditto is transformed. So if I see a Pokemon that's struggling, that's a Ditto. Ooh, are you mighty enough? Oh, you are. Alright, I forgot. I don't need to explore everything now. I know where everything is. I can just go to the next floor now. Are you fake? Yeah, I had a feeling. This game looks way more interesting to me than any of the mainline games, right? Honestly, yeah. The gameplay itself is already like a huge plus. It's already sleeping. No, 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 go back to sleep. What? I think this is what we call a horny sleep. I don't know. I'll stop. Items on top left. Needs more evolutions. I think they only got until Leafeon ? I may be wrong. I have no idea actually. I mean, Umbreon and Espeon is like 2nd generation. Is Leafeon 4th generation? I don't know, the way Totodile is following Bubba's butt like that with the mouth open. Don't worry about it. We're just really friendly towards each other. That's pretty much it. Nothing more. Yeah, don't worry about it. Sleep. Go to sleep. Yeah, get bullied. Oh, it was raining a minute ago and then now it's sunny again. The weather is so weird these days, holy shit. Tito is transformed. My Yena looks good in this game. Oh. Oops. Yeah, nothing stands there at all. We're just good friends. Oh, yeah, that's just sticking me. Don't worry about it. Naive excuses. Wow, Jade. Wow, Jade. It's a crit. I'm a fucking gremlin today? Fair enough, me too. Do not edge you. I'm not going to. Thanks for the pet, Exen. I'll fucking stuff you to the bone. Oh my god, wow. Is it like rearranging my insides? Why are we such gremlins today? Oh, why am I? why am I such a gremlin today as well? Where the snow? Oh no. So is it gonna like? I don't think it will hurt me. You must be afraid of leaf. Grass type? Yeah, you are like rock ground type. Can be stuck to the bone? Yes. Hey, me first. Nice. Leveled. 4 HP? Oh my god, that's a lot of HP. I got like 18 days till my partner gets here and my body is already ready for it. Hey, sounds good. Oh, wait, there's one more item at the bottom left. Almost missed it. Alright, let's go. Oh. Metang? Yeah, Metang is fine. Metang is steel type, right? I have no fire. All that for 6 money? I'll take it. Hey, 6 money is 6 money. It's 6 money. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm super far away from my mic for some reason. I'm so far away from my mic. Let me pull in closer. Okay, there we go. Steel Sidekick? Okay. Steel Sidekick, so Dark type works as well. Ooh. Get closer. And the best part is she'll be in my house where it's only us and the cats and some very thick walls. Sounds good. Heck yeah. Sleep. I'll whoop you to death. There, get booped. Gummy. Clear gummy. Gummy. I'm too much of a gremlin today, I apologize. Oh, I guess it's at the either top left or bottom left. Nah, top left. HRT change your monologue now? Yeah, baby, that's what we're waiting for. That's what it's all about. You know, with 30 gems, you get that as well. Blue gummy? Wait, is it finally? Is it finally time? Water type, yeah. Oh wait, Totodile, you need this. Come on, ankle biter, it's yours. Eat it. PP checker. I want to check message log. Seems like this gummy went up significantly. So it just learned one PP checker. This one? Oh, that's nice. Sleep. Oh, you get the forbidden 5-turn sleep? Unfortunate. Well, fortunate for me, but unfortunate for you. The forbidden 5-turn sleep. Sleep. PP's to exist, I'll get the operation one day. Honestly, if I go through HRT, I don't know if I want to do the bottom surgery, to be honest. Maybe I'll keep it, but then again, that might change. But so I don't know.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Woo!
Takaka sip coffee.
To sip coffee. Love that Salazzle. Clear gummy. Gummy. Sleep. But hear me out, pegging marathon. Actually, what's pegging? I don't really enjoy using it that much now. Penetration kinda makes me feel dysphoric nowadays. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Honestly, do the things that make you happy. You know, do the things that makes you happier. Of course. 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. No, not getting a lot of stat gain now from each level. It's kind of concerning. I want the operation so bad, but it's so expensive. I mean, yeah, it must be very expensive. But man, if only it's not that expensive. If only it's more accessible, you know, more people will be happier with their own body. To get it down here is like 15 to 30k AUD. What the fuck? Holy shit. I mean, I know it's expensive, but I didn't think it's gonna be that expensive. So many Agami here. Oh, there's no item in this map. Yeah, just go. Are we killing bird now? We've come pretty far into this forest. I think we'll be out if we can get through this part. It shouldn't be long, hang in there. Thank you, ankle biter. Huh? Did you say something? No, I didn't think so. A voice? I must have imagined it. Turn back. You may not pass. Oh yeah? Who's there? You are forbidden to pass. If you persist in trying to pass, then so be it. But only after you have defeated me. They are actually stupid. They never talk. They think that they are strong as fuck and they just want to kill everyone. What the hell? The birds. I would go with mono surgery at this rate, just to feel more comfy. It's mostly expensive because of the post-OP stuff. Oh yeah. It's too bright. The ice around us is reflecting this light. I am bird. The water of bird. Those that entered the forest, I shall destroy with all my bird. Oh my god, it me! Hey, we got double Jade, because Moltres is Jade and now Articuno is Jade as well. Let us begin! Hey, have you heard of Bullet Shade? Help! Oh, does it work? No fucking way it works. Bullet Shade! Infatuated. Bullet Shade! I need to heal ankle biter. Bullet Shade! Oh shit, we dead. Protection of Mist. So it's not gonna get debuff anymore. Bullet Shade! Got him! That's cute. Ankle biter chomp the bird. I know, right? Ankle biter is so good. It's so strong. Get charmed, Jade. I mean bird. Totally. More drink? More drink. See, I gave Jade a bunch of seed. Please, Articuno. We have to keep moving. We have to get through this. Please let us pass. 9. I can allow your passage. Oh, why? Why can't we pass? The frigid forest there. It has warmed considerably in recent times. Warm now? I'm still freezing, but the flow of frigid air has been disturbed in this forest. Snow has started to melt. Snow is melting. Snow that has never melted before. Yeah, that's what global warming does. This has never happened, even once. That's what global warming does. Then you appear in the forest. Is this not your doing? We don't have anything to do with that, it's a coincidence. Hey Articuno, you have to listen. It's not our fault that the snow is melting here. It's not just here. Natural disasters are happening all over the place. Even if we hadn't come, the frigid air here would have been disturbed. Is that all? You expect me to believe that? Yeah. Enough of your foolish talk. Prepare for your end. Imagine not coming. That bird's from seed. Oh yeah, I thought I would fucking turn into a total ice sculpture. Total ice sculpture. Stop it. Absol. There's nothing false in what they said. Calamities are indeed occurring in nature everywhere. Is that true? Yeah. I have the ability to sense natural disasters. The calamities taking place now are a special nature. I've never experienced such before. So, there are calamities besides this? Fine. I would choose to believe you. Bird, I swear to fucking... You may pass. Articuno. However... Yeah. You must try to prevent the calamity. Oh my god, the birds. You tried to kill me. Now you're counting on me again. These Pokemons. These Pokemons I don't understand. Hi, Wildflower. Bye, bird. Prepare my end. Is it like my rear end? That was too close. Thank you. You saved us. Rather than saying thanks, focus on stopping the calamities before they've worsened. If they are left unchecked, worse will befall us. My instinct warns me so. Groan. I sense the terrible power of the natural calamities. I was led here by my feelings of foreboding. I think it'll be best if we combine forces. I will join you. Huh? You will really? Really? To put an end to the calamities, cooperation is vital. Let me lend you my powers. Oh, thank you, Absol. Yo! We'll want 2 things. Snuggles and sex. See, and for you to cure the world something. So, the second is so specific. Give nickname to Absol? Oh. You are Edge. Edgy... Edgy... Edgy NB? Edgy NB. Edgy NB? Wait, Edgy NB? Edgy NB. Shit, I kinda want to name G though. Edgy NB or G? I mean, Absol doesn't like to talk as much, right? Good's good. Good. You know, I'm convinced. It needs to be all small letter. Good. No. Just good, just good. A brief, short and sweet. Good, good. And so, after getting through the frosty forest, Tira's team headed further north. The more they advanced, the harsher the condition became. Meep merp. G. We now have G on our team. This icy mountain path seems to go on forever. We've walked a long way here. Ankle-biter looks exhausted too. We've been running all this time out of desperation. What's in store for us ahead? Are we really doing this? Are we really doing the right thing? Yeah, it's too cold. There's all this snow around us now. The scenery hasn't changed at all for a while now. Are we even getting somewhere? Hey Tyra, you know what I'm thinking? I think we finally reached a place where there's no one else but us. I also have this feeling there's nothing ahead of us here. And I'm feeling pretty beat. We too... What's going to happen to us? I don't know. I don't want to like give false hope. I don't want to be like, we'll be fine. What if we are not, you know? Is that God? I don't think Absol is God.
Gutile stare.
Dibs? I mean, God is Arceus. Only on this one, I'll say don't worry, we'll be fine, okay? Yeah, you're right. We came out here, there's no point wondering about it. Sorry, Tyra. I got to feeling sorry for myself. Tyra, I came out here because I believe in you. And that's not changing. I'll keep believing in you. I'll go whenever you go. Ankle biter! Yes. Ankle biter trusts me without any doubt. I can't afford to be indecisive. I have to believe in myself more. What? What? What was that? Dizzy? Or what? Huh? What's the matter, Tyra? Oh shit. Finally. Finally, you have arrived. Someone is talking to me. Ankle biter? No. This voice isn't ankle biter. This voice. I've heard it somewhere. Finally. You have arrived. I've been waiting for you. Carnivore! I am so glad. Finally we get to meet. You're... what? Hey Tyra, what's up with you? Talking to yourself like that? I cannot be seen by others. I am visible only to you. A little farther ahead, there is a jagged mountain range topped by mountain frizz. Inside its peak, Ninetales lives. Ninetales? Ninetales awaits your arrival. Beware. Wait. Hey, Tyra, come on. What are you doing? What happened to you? Ninetales. Okay, so that's what happened. The carnivore appeared to you, so that's why you were looking so stunned. But wow, Ninetales isn't just a legend, it really exists. And that Ninetales is at the peak way up here. Sniffle. Oh my god, ankle biter. Dear, all the effort we put into getting here, it's finally going to pay off. We'll meet Ninetales and get the truth. We'll finally clear your reputation. That'd be great. Why? Hey, Tyra. You don't need to look so worried. You'll be okay. I can understand how it'll be scary for you to meet Ninetales. The heartless human who abandoned God of War. How that might be you. I bet you're scared thinking that. But that's impossible. You're not that human, I'm sure. You believe so much in me? Hmm? Well, there was a time when I had some doubts. But now... I wonder why. I really don't know why. But it doesn't matter now. You're a really good sword. You know, before... when I first got the idea to start this rescue team, I met you in the tiny woods, Tylra. Now that I think about it, there was something different about you. Just a feeling. This is kind of weird, isn't it? But I believe in you. Anyway, we'll know the truth when we get to the peak. Let's give it our best. Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna give our best. I couldn't take things out? Oh, I'm full of things, okay. That should be good. Yep, that's a lot of gummy you can eat. I know, right? Would gummy have the belly buff? Or like, do I get Baba belly if I eat gummy? At full belly? Hey Tyra, are you ready? All set. Which way should we go? Snow path is the farm. Only apple? Dang it. I do have one big apple. Mountain freeze. Alright, let's roll out. We want the peak. Let's give it our best. We got this. A big apple gives bigger bubble belly when full. I'm in. I want a big apple. Whoa! 10! Mega bubble belly. How strong is Absol? Sorry, how strong is good? Good. You're level 20? I'm stronger than you. If hit by a false move, the false uses more BP than usual. Oh, you have pressure as well. G. G. G stat appear unchanged. G. I can't get over the name, it's so good. Are you Swablu? Oh, you're Swablu. Swablu is one of my favorite dragon type. Well, not Swablu, but was it Altarion? I think it's Altarion. One of them. The evolution of Swablu. Is that Bagon? Bagon is now Shogun? Altaria, yeah. Shogun. G. G. Fluffy Cloud Dragon, yeah. One of my favorite Pokemon in Gentry. Oh no. Coming. Yes, A-Bag. That's everything? Yeah, the extra spec saves so much time, it's insane. Pinecone? That hurt? Pineco is Tyranitar's one, right? Wait, no, it's on Pineco. Oh wait, Tyranitar is like Paw or something, I don't remember. But it's not Pineco. Oh, it's Pupitar! You're right, because it's Larvitar and then Pupitar, and then Tyranitar. Right, of course. We got what? Insomniscope. No sleep allowed? Defense Pokemon going to sleep, napping, having a nightmare, or yawning. I guess you could have it. Good. Good, never sleeps. Good. Nice. Frustration? I don't think frustration is even that good, because we're at such good terms. Maybe if return, then it's good? Oh my god, Reviver Seed raw. Raw Reviver Seed. Nice. Sleep. Ghibli? Oh, it's the horny sleep again. Oh. Oh. Wait, careful, good. Don't. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Taunt allows it to. A Taunt restricts it to only use attack moves and not buff moves. We're breezing through this one. Money and rock. Sleep. Yep. Oh, yep. Yep. Sleep. Why are you spamming attract? You know you have water gun, right? Wow, that's like the biggest dead end ever. What the fuck? Ow. It kinda hurts. Are you Seal or Dugong? Oh, Seal, okay. Ooh. So many items. What's that? Iron Thorn. Oh, it's something I can throw? Inflict damage if it hits. Okay. Let me set this. $54? That hurts so much. Just throw rocks. I like to throw rocks. Yep. Yep. Oh, there's no more EXP points. Okay, that's everything. Yeah, we're going really fast now. With the help of X-ray spec, I think. Sleep. Oh, you have quick attack. Hmm. Oh. Wait, that's very scary. Don't do it. No, Oh, wow. Nice. Stamina band. Let's eat some clear cut gummy. Status checker. Status checker. This one? Will not use move that cause the same status problem. Oh. I mean, why am I putting IQ skill on myself? Aren't I the one that's controlling the Pokemon? Did you see efficiency expert? I think I saw that, yeah. This one. Target. Oh yeah. Some IQ are passive. Oh. So if I switch this one on, it's on myself. I mean, I get to choose what I do, right? Money. Secret power. Oh my god. There's no way. Sleep. Oh. Sleep. Sleep. Bully them. Get them. Yeah. Alright, who wants secret power? I kinda want secret power. Also trigger other effects depending on the terrain. Ooh. The first few IQs are for non-player controlled Pokemon, but you will get some that are useful if you raise IQ more. I'll try to eat more gummy. Only 10 PP though. A normal type. Is secret power special attack or attack? I think it's special, right? SP attack 43. SP attack 41, so I have a little bit stronger SP attacks. I'm the strongest SP attack. Special? Yeah, I also think that it's kind of special. Bulbasaur's moveset is solid right now? Yeah, honestly, very solid actually. But secret power is... Ankle Biter's moveset is also really good. I'll keep it. I'll put it into storage. Maybe I can let some friends use it. Yeah. I'll keep it. My belly... I need to eat more gummy. Let's eat some gummy. IQ Rosham. It seems to love this gummy. Oh, I love pink gummy. Wow. Why am I not surprised? Love me some pink gummy? Oh my god. Rock. Oh shit, ow. Rock. Zangoos don't give as much experience points, I'm surprised. Some moves also act different in these games. Like Facade was only 12 power, I think. That low? I thought Facade should be a little bit higher. Sleep. Oh, Vital Spirit. Oh god. No. No, I'm not even gonna use the move. Yeah, I'm not gonna sleep powder on you 3 times. What is Kobo again? You got it. I will drink because dragons say to drink. Whoa, there's milk and water. Uh-oh. You're already not sleepless. Leech Sail. I should tank. Okay. Yeah. Got him. Drowns Kobo like houseplant. Oh, it's snowing. I mean, I have a house plant here. I could take a picture. I mean, it's here. I'm holding it here, but you guys cannot see it. It was very small, but now it has like 2 huge leaves. Yeah. Actually, oh, my phone is here. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Why not? Give me a second. I have to put the sus things away. Man, my table is such a mess. Give me a second. No flash. I didn't mean to put on flash. I've never been good at houseplants, which is ironic because I myself tend to act like one. Maybe that's why you're similar to them. Yeah, Ixen is a houseplant. Now we water Ixen. Hi, Cody Cat. Hello. Welcome. I'm just gonna put into general. I need to clean up my table. That looks like crap. Okay, I put it into my Discord. Also, let me do this real quick. This one, this one, this one. Okay, there we go. That's my houseplant. It's almost as tall as my monitor. I just put it into like one small like water bottle stepped in half. Plant long. I mean, to those who is not in my Discord chat here, give me a second. My PC is dying in the meantime. Holy shit! This is what I have. Ta-ding! That's my house plan. And don't mind my extremely dirty. I need to clean it up. Oh jeez. But yeah, that's my house plan. Not bad, right? Also, I need to change the settings real quick. Real quick. I think I'm gonna go here and then go here. Don't crash. Okay. We get plan. I saw one plan that glued to monitor to soak up sunlight. What? Sunlight? Plan. Plan good. I enjoy taking care of plants. But this one I only need to water it like once per 2 days. And it requires a little bit of sunlight, not like too much. So I was like, yeah, cool. Suck health. Got him. Oh, there's like a bunch of items down there. They're mine. Oh yeah, I don't know if I said this, but hope you're doing good, Cody Kid. I think I met you in Ixen's voice chat. Yeah, I remember that. Ow. Oh no. Dude. Oh, sorry, good. Uh-oh. I cannot move. Okay, I'm moving. Dig. Belly kind of full, I guess? I'm gonna switch this one. Swap. Oh, hey. Oh. Nice. We did? Mm-mm. I think I see a problem where your plants keeps dying. I mean, it's not sunlight. Yeet. That one hurts. Oh. Himeko is like so tanky. Gonna eat this apple. Just take this. And then bottom right. I gonna go bottom right here? Oh god. At least there's one item here. I don't know if I want to skip that item. I'm gonna skip that item. It's too far, I don't want to walk there. Too far, I don't want, I'm lazy. Pecha scarf. Pecha scarf sells for like 1,000, I think? Max elixir. I'll just eat one. Mmm. Good. Good. This Pokemon learned a new move. Bite. Yeah, bite. Forget Leer. No. Yes. Good. Learn bite. Good. Good. Grew up. I've leveled up. I feel empowered to fight disasters. I'm good. 2 HP. Whoa, that's not a lot of stat gain. I'm surprised. Absol is no... Absol doesn't evolve, right? I thought the stat gain would be more than that. Yeet. Nope. Sleep. Sleep. What? What? So much health. Oh my god, it's a huge stand-in. Bullet cheat. Was that the forbidden 5-turn sleep again? Forbidden. Oh, found it. I'm probably gonna need this. Belly. Another kami, I guess. Yeah. Non-traitor. Non-traitor. If it becomes confused or is cowering, the Pokemon's widely thrown attacks will not hit friends. That's too good. Cowering. Making it launch attacks and moves completely backwards. If an ally is behind it, the backward attack and move will hit. Lasts for a set amount of turns. I mean, that's so good. Yeah. And that's everything. Okay. Oh wait, there's one more. It's kinda hard to see that item when the background is almost similar color. You look like you like to sleep. Sleep! Slacking. Slacking. That's what you get for slacking. T-Rex? Since when I became a T-Rex? Hi, Torisasas. Survivor? Oh shit, Survivor is so hot. Sleep. Oh my god, look at the Chiku! God, I love Survivor. Thanks for pit. I too and a fellow Eep enjoy. Don't we all? Don't we all? Silver Kami. Oh, there's one more. I thought that's everything. Yeah, the background is like really blending with the items. Oh, slucking. Oh no. What did I do? Going down. Yeet! Yeah, sure. Sleep. Deserved. Survivor is so strong. Oh, it's the... I think it's a shed ability. After getting hit, will remove all status. It's okay. I think I have one more Reviver Seed. Or two. 1, 2, okay. I don't want the rock anymore. But I want the rock though. Must have... Oh. Fine, no rock. It stole my pecha berry. Please don't tell. Oh my god. Why this dead end? And my rock. Wow! I'm actually gonna die from this. Oh fuck. Sleep. Yeah, okay. Oh, it just recovers from everything. I see, okay. Uh oh, I'm dead. Sleep. Ow. No, I feel like we're gonna fight something that's gonna have pressure again. So I need to keep my 5 use of bullet shield. Don't think you have any move that can cut corners. Walao eh. Poison here is high crit chance? Oh, I didn't know that. So I got crit for like 100 damage. This is kind of bad. Someone's gonna die here, I feel like. Wait, Absol is Dark type. Dark type is not afraid of poison, right? Only Psychic is afraid of poison. Or the other way around, I don't remember. So Absol can take care of it? Nice. Nice. Good health. We could heal in time. I'm just gonna eat it. Mmm. 2 items on top. AB and wait for heal. I could, but I'm gonna get swarmed, right? Like they could find me and get swarmed, which is why I'm kind of afraid of. But good, it's a lot of help. You know what? Yeah, I'm doing it. Gonna heal. Ooh. Okay, they're all very far away. Thank you, X-Ray. Thank you, X-Ray specs. Oh my god. We good. Love it here. Wow. Love it here, Evie. Always so heckin' nice. Facade. I kinda want to just take all these TM and sell them for money. Right, that's everything. Should I EXP farmer a little bit? I feel like I'm too weak to fight against anything. It feels like I'm not strong enough now. Nice. I did it. My level went up. 3, 1, 1, 1. Or maybe it's just that I don't really have a strategy other than just to face tank everything. That could be my problem as well. Sleep. Eat gummy for a room. Hi, malicious magpie. Welcome. Yippee. I will eat gummy. But my belly is still so high up though. Nice. My move is still looking good actually. You know what? Yeah, let's farm a little bit. I feel like I'm not strong enough. I still have like high level or like high amount of belly, so it should be fun. Not survivor. Sleep first, and I'm gonna bullet cheat. If I can fight against all the Slug Kings, that would be so good. Sleep. Seed. Yeah, slugging gives so much EXP points. Sleep. Nice. Ankle biter is not getting much stat now. Sleep. And oh, good. Good. Bullet shield. I'm just gonna use it immediately. Yo, 5 times? Nothing here? That's all the rooms? Okay, now I guess we can AB wait at the stairs. I'm gonna let Ge level up one more time, then we go to the next floor. Waiting at stair and having an enemy walk to me is usually what I do to farm. Yeah, I'm gonna AB here. Bubble seed. Bubble seed. You. They're so confused. Oh, one's coming. Nice. They don't know where I am. Oh, one's coming. Uh-oh. Nope. Mm. Thanks for pet. I think that was a crit. I can use all my Razor Leaf and Bullet Seed. Then use a Max Elixir. Ba-ba-ba. 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 I can use Bullet Seed, right? Yeah, I can only normal attack. True. Nice. How much does God need? Oh. Oh. Nice. Maybe it's really hard for girl to level up. Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know I can... Okay, I'm sorry. Ow. Good, I'm sorry, good. I didn't mean to hit you like that. I didn't know I could hit my own teammate like that. Oh my god, girl, you stupid! Oh shit. Oh, so when Revival Seed has been used, it becomes a plain seed. There. I have one more Revival Seed and it's fine. Got him. I always love to see the red dots that are so confused. Oh. Get sniped. The girl is not leveling up. Okay, fine. I'm going to the next floor. I forgot to eat Max Elixir. I forgot to eat. Oh, okay, we good. Oh my god, I got so fucking lucky. There's an IQ to allow you to shoot through friends. Watching the red dance is like watching ants. Checkpoint. I don't need to eat the Max Elixir. Alright, we good. Keep going. Yeah. Freeze peak. So who are we gonna fight? We already fought 3 birds. Who else is ice? It's definitely not the 3 dogs in Johto region. It's definitely not Kyogre. It's definitely not Groudon and Rayquaza as well. Who's the who's like the mythical? Who's the mythical Pokemon in Emerald again? I don't remember. Crap. Evasion Rose. Evade this. Okay. Sleep. I be the bird, fight me. No! I will not fight Fluffy Dragon. No, 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 no. No, no fighting dragon. Only dragon bullying kobolds. Sleep. Nice. Oh, good. Finally, good. 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. Is there items? No, there's none. Okay, we can just go. Latios and Latias. Oh yeah, I forgot about them. But they have no significance to ice, no? Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea actually. I have a bunch of her white kami. We can eat some clear kami. What's silver? Steel type. Like, I'm not steel type. Ice type. So white is normal. I mean, sure. Mmm. Take me! Take me! Oh, we have a quest to take me? Oh, wow. One shot. I'm using wall hacks. See, I've been playing Counter-Strike with my friends and it's like, a wall hack! WH! WH! Like, Epi, Epi! Oh. I know this is kind of deplorable, but I love playing Counter-Strike. It's kind of deplorable, but I do love playing Counter-Strike. It's kind of fun though. You can see EXP next level in stats. Oh, in stats summary? To next level. Oh shit, that helps so much. Thank you. 4,000. How much do you need? 5,000. Holy shit. Good. Gladly has so much EXP points. Oh my god, see, it's a fucking bomb. It's actually good, right? Like it's good. Just don't play with toxic people, and don't care too much when you're playing competitive. Like I love playing competitive play. I'm like sure, there's gonna be like a lot of toxic shit going on. You know, there'll be people going like, I mean, I got it before. Like people tell me like, 哎呀，你这个挨开，你不要按着射，你别按着，你别摁着，你要点射，点头，点头，and then something like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's normal. Just don't look too much. Don't care too much into like the competitive play. It's kind of fun. I like it. Also, I should eat some kami. Brown kami. No more items, right? Okay. Oh. Sleep. Wait, why are you afraid of water gun? Or like, why are you not very effective against a water gun? Aren't you ice type? Eat gummies. Eat gummies, get belly. Something that sounds like something in Cobalt Care does. Am I unhinged today? Yes. Why? I don't know. Don't ask. eat gummy. Okay. Just eat them. It's fine. No more items. Okay. Oh wait, there is. On the most left. There's a huge map. Boba Belly. Oh, look at the tree. Look at the tree red dot together. Look at the tree red dot together. So cute. It's like a snake game. Oh, they separated. Money. Leech seed. Sleep powder. Got him. Oh, there we go. We finally made it. This is the peak, right? Where could Ninetales be? Oh yeah, Ninetales, I forgot. The game literally said Ninetales. There they are, I spotted Tylra. Oh shit, really? Alakazam? It's about time I finally caught up to you. Your fugitive act dragged us all the way out here. Pipe down, Tyranitar. We can finally settle things here. I can barely contain myself, I'm itching for a fight. Ankle biter, don't think badly of me. I don't know how to show mercy. They fucking suck, I hate them, they're the worst team ever. I then wish for in conclusion, don't fight me! don't, okay, you don't want this conclusion, do not go out your way and find me! These Alakazam, 5000 IQ, doesn't know how to be like, act, just, the idiocy. I'm so angry because I'm so invested in the story. Stupid!
I don't care what you're doing right now, Coco, but you better yip for me for the next 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll yip. Yip. Hi, numbers. Hello. Welcome. But this too is fate. Shut the fuck up! You seek me out? I didn't know you said this is fate. Oh my god, the actual dumb bitch, I'm so angry. The role of a rescue team is to help bring peace, and then you're trying to kill me. We will crush you with every shred of our... Okay, yeah, Oh. Cease this at once. Oh. Wait, Ninetale? Hmm? Ninetales? What? Ninetales? That's Ninetales. The legend. It was real. Cease fighting at once, Alakazam. They are my guests. That was Ninetales. who was the human that appeared in your legend? No, even before that, was the legend itself a true event? Depending on your reply, I may have no choice but to eliminate them. Whether they consider my curse to be a legend or not, I care not. However, it did happen. Many years ago, I tried to lay a curse on a human. It was then, however, that God of War, the human's partner, dashed in. It selflessly bore the full brunt of the curse meant for the human. Then the human did a selfish and cowardly thing. They abandoned God of War and fled. The human eventually became a Pokemon. Transformed into a Pokemon, the human. The human lives on. And that human will be... Who is the human that you speak of? Tylra. You may relax. It is not you. Oh! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Just now. What did you say?
Tylra is not the human that appears in the legend. That is what I said. What? Oh, ankle biter, I love you! What's wrong with me? I'm too tensed up to move. Oh my god, who doesn't love ankle biter? Come on. Deep breaths. Oh. Awesome! Wow! That's great. We sim for ankle biter here, okay? I knew Tylra wasn't the one. It's just as I thought. Tylra won't do anything like that. I have another thing to say. It is true that I foretold of the world's balance becoming unstable. However, the human becoming a Pokemon and the world's balance are not linked in any way. The cause of the natural calamities? It exists elsewhere. Hey, you lot! You were wrong! You doubted the hounded Tylra. Yeah, you fucking bitch. Apologize? That's it? Sorry you got worked up by that Gengar? Yeah, sure. The strongest rescue team doesn't know how to differentiate between worked up civilians and hearsay. Yeah. Oh, no, I suspected Gengar right from the start. I don't trust you, Charizard, come on. Tylra just doesn't look like a treacherous type. Oh yeah? It'd be nice if I could believe that. But I must say, you are to be commended for prevailing through this cruel journey and describing the truth. Fuck you, Alakazam! You're the worst character in the game. Isn't that great? I was convinced I was right. We love you, ankle biter. Huh? But wait a second. Why did Tylra become a Pokemon? I understand that Tylra isn't a human that appeared in the legend. Then why would Tylra become a Pokemon? Tylra, who are you? The ground's heaving. Quick! The world's crust is shifting. The natural calamities are worsening. And the shifting of the ground, it will awaken the beast that embodies the ground. The beast that slept deep underground. Oh, Groudon? Oh, it is Groudon. Groudon will be awakened. What? Groudon is rising? Groudon? What is that? What's a Groudon? A legendary Pokemon that has been spoken of only in myths. It is the Pokemon that raised the land masses and created continents. It is said to have taken a sleep after catastrophic battles with its arch-enemy Kyogre. If Groudon were to get loose, there would be chaos. It must be stopped. We will go. So will we. No, you must remain behind. Groudon is far more powerful than any Pokemon you have faced. Fucking ass. I'm stronger than you, bitch. I'm so angry at Alakazam. It's beyond belief. I'm actually so angry. Leave it to us. No fucking way. That's how it goes. You go back to your rescue team base for a well-earned rest. No one trusts us yet. Only you three heard what Ninetales said. We go back, we're gonna die. Don't worry about us. We didn't get our gold rank that the easy way. We'll get the job done and we'll be back before you know it. Fine, we're off to quell Groudon. Ground rising from the Great Eep. The Great Eep. And thus, Alakazam's team made their way underground to quell the awakened Groudon. You know, I fucking hate Alakazam. At least I don't hate Charizard and Tyranitar as much because they're hot. I love this game. Meanwhile, clear of all suspicion, Tylra's team put an end to their long and arduous journey and returned to their welcoming rescue team base. Who told them the news of Ninetales? I'll stop. I don't even know anymore. God damn it. There's too much skip. Meanwhile, back in Pokemon Square. KK, you lot. Why aren't you out there hunting on Tylra's team? That's easy for you to say. It's too much for us. They say Tylra's team has gone way far out there. If we went, the best we can hope is maybe the Lapis Cave. I joined the chase, but they fled into Mountain Blaze. For the life of me, I cannot go in there. That's why I lost their trail. I'm a grass type, see? Fire doesn't agree with me at all. I don't know what became of Tylra's team after that. But those fugitives, to think they would risk Mountain Blaze. They've grown up tough. I can't keep up. What a spineless lot you are, too. You're so full of big talk. What about your team, Gengar? You just hang around in the square and don't do a thing. Walk the talk, you guys go. We're out of that picture. Our role is to receive word about Tylra's demise. Disappointed yourself that. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. And Medicham, what's a word? Tylra is... Oh, finally, we fight real Tylra. No, it's the opposite. Tylra is back. What did you say? Hey, what's up? Hey, over there. Tylra, they're back. Hi everyone, we're back. Woo, finally made it back. We've been gone for so long. It's good to be back in the square again, Tylra. Hey, ankle biter. Oh, it's you, Gengar. It's been a while, bitch. Sorry. Where's this smart confidence? Maybe... Gengar? You spilled all sort of trumped out garbage, didn't you? Tylra had nothing to do with it. Tylra was innocent. What? Is that true? You bet. We met Ninetales and found out. Tylra isn't a human from that legend. We came back and when we found that out. Yeah, get fucked. Wait a second. You can't be trusted yet. If you're going to make the claim, let's see some proof. Proof? That's right, some hard evidence. Let's see some proof. Come on, out with it. Proof. We don't have any proof. It's too bad you don't have a proof. You came back first so we could get rid of you easier. How conveniently foolish. I could fight you right here, right now. This story is good. I'm invested. Now, fan of Pokemon, here's your chance to get rid of Tylra. What's wrong, everyone? Don't you want to be rid of Tylra? I always believe in Tylra. You don't fool me. I'm out. I was saved by Tylra's team before. I joined the chase with a heavy heart because of your urgent. I simply can't think of Tylra being a bad in any way. Yeah, that's right. I've heard enough too. I believe Tylra. Yeah, that's right. Who needs proof? Oh, ankle bite. I would never. Oh my god. I want to pet. I want to hug. I want to squeeze. I want to squeeze Toto down. Look at that face. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Yeah, it's for you, Gengar. What? What is this? Looks like a newspaper, doesn't it? Okay, I'll read it aloud. Let's see. Pokemon News Extra. Tylra innocent! Tylra met with Ninetales under the watchful eye of Alakazam and proved that it had nothing to do with the human in the legend. As a result, Gengar's claim were found to be malicious lies. And that's what you get, bitch. You rotten. Run! Stop, you lie, you conners. Welcome back. Yep, it's good to be back. We're back like we promised. I'm so glad. And Tylra isn't suspected anymore. I love how Gu is just behind us there. Like seeing all this unfold. And Gu is just like, can we do something about, you know, the world or something? We might need that. We won't have to keep running from everyone anymore. Alright, here. We're both worn out. I'm going to get some sleep. Our rescue team is back in business tomorrow. Let's give it our best. Yeah. How about Gu? The rescue team... Is Gu our friend now? Wait. Oh, we're finally back. That was a fun journey. Ankle biter! Morning, Tylra. Get a good night's sleep? Okay, we're back in the rescue team business. Pelipper! The Pelipper who believe in us. And Pelipper's brought us mail already too. Let's give it our best like we used to, Tylra. Yeah. Mysterious dungeons? If your rescue team is defeated in a dungeon, you lose several items and all the money you are carrying. Beware of what you're carrying before you go for a rescue or an outing. Use Kangaskhan storage to keep invaluable items safely stored. Got it. Store. Letter from Pelipper. Yo amigo, it's awesome you're back! I'll be delivering mail to you again. I've been looking forward to this with my bill outstretched. I'll deliver tons of mail, so you better be ready, amigo. The wandering postal carrier Pelipper. Pelipper is nice. Sinister Woods. We have a bunch of Sinister Woods and... Take Me in Mountain Seal? Orange berry, grass gummy, green gummy, and then just like, yeah. Take me! Take me! Yeah, it's good to be back. Hi, why are you dancing? So, what became of Alakazam's team? Did they head underground? Groudon? They make it go Pokemon. It is rather worrying. But I suppose it is Alakazam's team, they should be fine. Yeah, they're dead. Sneakily does something to Princess Shinobi before leaving. What? Hey? What? What channel? Is it in Discord? Oh. No, in Discord I only see Ixon and Green streaming. Hmm? Huh? I don't know, but hi Narix. Hi Draken. I expected this. I thought there had to be a mistake. I mean, look at you. You don't look like the sort who can be up to no good. I'll keep looking after your things, Dales. You can always count on me. Oh, I love Kangaskhan. Okay. Wait, I want to sell... I don't want to sell these. I want to sell this. Keeping this one in. Putting some gummy. Selling power band. Selling some Max Elixir. I actually want Iron Thorn. It's really strong. Selling some precious scarf. Facade, I'm gonna sell it. It's not that good. Putting some gummy. I think we can sell all of these, yeah. Oh, a bunch of orange berries though. Maybe we should keep a few, like 3 orange berries. Yeah. Actually, I think there's like a bunch of things I want to take out to sell as well. Like this, and this, and how many special band? Power band. Bunch of gummy. Actually, a bunch of gummy. Let's see. Oh yeah, hunger seed. I want to give this hunger seed to Jade. Take frustration roar. I want to sell frustration. Shockwave thief. Oh, a bunch of link boxes as well. Yeah. If you don't see it, don't worry about it. I'm not too sure. Do let me know when you actually find out what I did. Eh? But I don't... Is it Telegram? Let me check. No, oh, that's a nice picture. Look, I see. The thing is, I'm getting more unhinged the more I stream somehow. Let's take this one out. I'm so sorry. I was fully convinced of your guilt, Tylra. But I'm glad to hear you're free from that cloud of suspicion. I'll never give you my business. I'll never give you my business again. I hope you won't say that. Money! Money! Oh my god! Yes, take it all! Huge apple. I want this. Is it 1 iron thorn for 28? No, okay, it's all of them. I want all the huge apple. Mine. I'm so sorry. I was convinced that Tylra had to be the one. I'm very ashamed that I treated a valuable customer with such disdain and suspicion. It isn't just you, my brother. I am guilty of the same. Brother! My brother! We both promise we will not repeat the same mistake. I will do my best to obtain even better TM and orbs. I hope for your continued patronage. Oh, I love them. Huge apple makes bigger boba belly? Thunderbolt. 8,000? 8,000? I don't have lightning type though, but I'm buying it just in case someone can use it. Yes. I have huge money right now. Look at the money I have. Do you have any more friend area? I believe in you, Tylra, because you're my friend. Friends are my treasures. Welcome to weekly tete-a-tete, okay? Oops. You can add to your friend areas. Sorry, that was a loud one. I burped. Huge apple. Huge apple. I do apologize. How could one run a bank without trusting clients? I promise to satisfy all your banking needs from now on. I hope you stay. Welcome, this is Felicity Bank. Oh yeah, you can have all the money. I have so much money! Sorry, I meant to store. Actually, take all the iron ore now. Yeah, and the rock. They didn't sell small apple, right? Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bring huge apple to like a small quest. So we're gonna find one orange berry, grass gummy, green gummy. Yeah, orange berry, grass gummy, green gummy. I don't have two of the gummies. Hopefully they're there. Alright, I think I'm ready to go for an adventure. Nice. We're going to Sinister Wood, right? Yeah, Sinister Wood. Let me see if there's any more. Silent Chasm, Lapis Cave. One aerial ace wanted. What the fuck? You just want a straight out TM and they give me 300 money? No more Sinister Wood quest. Okay, let's do it. I want to see what Whiskas will be saying after this. I'm so glad Tylra isn't under suspicion anymore. I just knew Tylra couldn't be evil. I hope you keep doing good with your rescue work. Yeah. I regret this. How some old folklore I told could cause such an uproar. I got carried away and recounted that tale. I should have left well enough alone. I mean, it's just old folk tale. I don't actually blame Whiskas as much. I mean, it's just an old folk tale, and then Gengar just like using that to cause an uproar. Hi, Gulpin. I doubted you too. I do so apologize. If you could wipe that slate clean, I would do my best to serve your linking needs. Lear rage. Ankle bite just full of rage. No. Let's go to Sinister Woods. But also bring some friends. I need to bring my best bug. Is Ge here? Oh my Ge is just here. Why is thing? Whoa, what is this place? Mountain range, okay. Ge is just there. Two plugs. What's the best bug? Yeah. Under the friend area music. Oh, I never really give a listen to them. Oops. Sinister Wood. Oh my god, we unlocked so many plays. Your client Pidgeotto joined your rescue team. Oh, okay. So I need to save Pidgeotto, right? At least with X-ray specs, it should be easier to find, hopefully, Grass Gummy and Green Gummy. Epan. Bullet Shield. Nice. Got him. Oh. Damage. Oh, we found it! Green Gummy. Okay, now we just need Grass Gummy. Did they say near which floor? Grass Gummy, bring Green Gummy. Okay, so find Grass Gummy is random, but I have the Green Gummy that I can bring it to 10th floor to that person. Okay, so we good. That's a lot of items here. I'm so just like breezing through this area. Feels good. My Pokemon is so strong now. Epan. Oh. Nice. Reviver seed. Oh my god. Nice. Raspberry? Sleep? Nice, best bug. Oh, less attacking. Sleep. Sleep. Yeah. Man, X-ray glasses is so nice. Huge room? Found it. Grass gummy, we found it. Okay, okay, we good, we good. Oh, crap. There's one more item, yeah, below. I just want to see what it is, but there's like one red dot right beside the blue item. If they can take it and see, and I can see what it is, I could choose to ignore it. Oh, it's Epal, okay. Money. Nice, 25. More moves? Sweet Sen. What did it do? Lowers the evasion of the foes in the same room by 1 level. Evasion, I mean, a lot of misses, but... Nah, I think Sleep Powder is too good. Yeah, Sleep Powder is too good. 3 HP, 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, I can see the quest area as well, nice. Just gonna go straight there. Oh, nice. Pink gummy. Why gummies out of everything though? You know, like we have apple for the belly fill, and then you're like gummies. Why? Oh, hey, no. Oh my god, they almost died. I still get extra. Nothing on the 8th floor, right? 7 and then 10, 11, 12, okay. Breezing through this place. 10, 11, 12, right? Nice, nice. Just 2 more. Where does PGO not even want to go? Oh, full items. Belly not so good. Eat some white kami? Pink is poison. I think I might like this one. Self-cure. Recovers faster for a status problem. That's from IQ? That's so good. Wait. Wait, channel. Wait, of course. My Twitch is a channel. I just realized. Wait a second. So, did Narix change the title? Oh, my PC is dying. Princess Princess asked for the dragon to bully him and dragon stopped free, so dragon asked Chad to bully him for them. Thanks, Narix. Thanks, dragon. I know we're gonna change it back, it's fine. Oh, no more? Oh. Insomnia, of course. Yeah, Hoot Hoot. Trying to make a Hoot Hoot fall asleep. Oh yeah, also, let me do this real quick. Let me just do this real quick. And then... Oh, did I mess up? Oh, hi, Brecky. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hope Brecky is doing good. And the drink? Yes, yes. I will drink. Yes, hot Brecky. Oh. Welcome, welcome, Brecky. Nice. Just one last one. Haven't found the ladder yet. Oh. Mm. Mm. Nice. Oh my god, this is so mean. The items are like top right, bottom right, top left, bottom left. Literally wants me to explore every single corner. So mean. I think it's where we need to bring Pidgeotto. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Pidgeotto's twosome left the dungeon. Twosome, huh? Man. Man. You know what? Just leave. It's okay. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. Me next? Orange Berry. Max Elixir. D ankles 10 points. Grass Gummy. 200 money, 10 rescue points. Green Gummy. I get Grass Gummy in return, and a yellow Gummy. Electric is kinda cute. 100 money, the ankles, 10 points. And then the twosome. Reviver Seed. 40 rescue points, wow. See you tomorrow, ankles. What? Cutscene? We're back. This... that dream. Again. It's been a while. You're... another one. Yeah. I'm doing good. Nice. I'm finally working on a Bracky reference. Even more nice. Big good luck with the reference sheet. There's so much I want to ask you. Why do you appear in my dreams? As an agent of spirits, I must watch over you, because that is my role now. An agent of spirits? Yes. I fell under the curse of Nine Tails in the place of a trainer, and became a presence without a physical form like this. Trainer? You mean the human that was in the legend about Nine Tails? It's awful that your trainer would abandon you and run away. Yeah, Gardevoir is so happy from this, why? Yes, my trainer was a terrible person. Mean and conniving, my trainer wasn't a nice person, truly. But I don't hate my trainer. Huh? Don't hate your trainer? Why not? Well... I wonder why myself, I don't quite understand. My trainer did some terrible things, but somehow I cannot bring myself to feel hatred. My trainer had some quirks, but there were good qualities too. And when it happened, I was desperate. When it happened? You mean Ninetales' curse? Yeah. I protected my trainer from Ninetales' curse with my entire being. If the trainer is facing danger, it is our duty to protect the trainer with our lives. We Gardevoir are that way. I kept my trainer safe. That alone was enough to make me happy. Protect the trainer even at the risk of your own life. It's amazing what Gardevoir did. Oh, I must mention, I don't mind the form I've taken. I live on this way with pride in the role I've been given. Role? Yeah. All things have a role. They all serve a purpose. Just as I have my own role to play. You too have a role to fill. You have come here to perform a certain role, and for that role, you became a Pokemon. Tiger! Hello. Hi hi. Welcome. A random hi to you. Do you want to see my whip? Yeah. I want to see a dragon reference sheet whip. What? What is saying? Nervequake? No, wait. I need to know more. Ow. The next morning? Then, there was an earthquake. Wasn't there? I think I had that dream again. I think I spoke with Gardevoir. She said something important. That's it. She did say something. Lucid dream? I see you're doing very well in this game. Somehow I'm not dying too much. Remind me, I need to finish it. So far the story is... I am very invested in the game and the game story. Which is why I hate Alakazam's team now. Well, I hate Alakazam alone, not really their team. I want to add an intro form as well on the empty space. Really liking how this ref is turning out. It's very me energy. The lines for the dragon themselves are not final yet, but I made a bunch of... Let me look at it. Oh. Oh, that's so cute though. Oh my god. Oh yeah, it is very you energy. I see it. Oh, I like that. Oh, it's so good. Love that plushie too. Oh, I cannot wait to see the full one. I didn't show I didn't show on stream though. I only have one screen to work with currently. But yeah, it's good. Love that reference. Soon Becky will join the horde of climbable dragons. I like to climb dragons too. I'm a kobold. You have come here to perform a certain role, and for that role you became a Pokemon. And God of War knows. She knows why I became a Pokemon. She also said something about a role. What did she mean by that? So far it's Nexus and Muffin. Yeah. I want to climb Ixon too. Morning Tylra, morning ankle biter. What's up? Is something wrong? Oh, right. That earthquake earlier. Oh, it's real. Tylra, you're worried the same way I am. I should have known. Alakazam's team hasn't come back yet. And they say Groudon is wickedly strong, so yeah, it is a bit worrying. But then again, Alakazam's bunch is tough too. They should be okay. Well, we did leave Groudon up to Alakazam, so we can't do much of anything but wait for them to come back. We've got to do what we can do. So let's give it our best for our rescue team. Take me! Who? Hi! I'm Wyanot, and this is Wobba Fit! We have a notice on the bulletin board outside the Pelipper post office. Okay, so Wyanot evolved into Wobbuffet, doesn't know how to talk and doesn't know how to talk anymore. Wobbuffet! Please look at it for me, please, please. Wobbuffet! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Please help me. I have to go now. Whoa, Buffett. Okay, I'm gonna go look at it. Oh, what's that? What just happened? That little Pokemon. What was the boy called? Wyanot? He wanted us to check the bulletin board at the Pelipper post office. Maybe those two have a problem or something. And they put up a rescue job notice on the bulletin board. Only one way to find out. Let's go to the Pelipper post office and check the bulletin board. Okay. You got it, friend. I want to sell all. Yeah, I think I can just keep this. Maybe keep this as well. Nah, I like rocks. I have to get rocks. One more apple. I mean, I should just store apples because they don't sell for anything. They sell for one. Yeah, just store the apple. And then sell the rest of them. Time to get money. $105? Good enough. Thanks for money. Yeah. Getting so much money. 22,000. Oh my god, I have so much money. So much money. And somebody, I'm in trouble. Orange gummy. Please help Rhyhorn. One pink gummy. I want this Sunflora. Polish Bad Mankey? Uproar Forest. Please polish Bad Mankeys, gang. Oh, it's Wyanot. Objective special mission. Eh? So this is the quest? But we never been to Uproar Forest, haven't we? Let's see, Tiny Wood, Thunder Wave, Silent Chasm, Lapis, Mother Blaze, Mother Freeze. It's all the different places. I cannot do so many quests in one place anymore. Alright, I guess we're doing this one. There was a job posted on the bulletin board which said Punish Bad Mankey. Did you two put on that job? Yep. Oh, whoa, Buffett. A Bad Mankey gang is going wild in the forest. Everyone is upset. Whoa, Buffett. We don't know why they rampage around, but they're always angry and attack anyone they see. Whoa, Buffett. That is a problem. Dear, we should go. Thank you. We're counting on you. Whoa, Buffett. The place where the monkey gang is wreaking havoc on others. Ooh. The Uproar Forest is now open for exploration. Yes, we're going. I'm probably gonna need more items. Let's bring some Apple and some heal. Oh, not to mention I want big belly. So let's get a huge apple. So one huge apple, one apple, the rocks, and then one heal, and one seed, and one elixir. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be items in the dungeon as well. So, yeah. Ooh. Best bug. The ankles. Alright, now we're going to Uproar Forest. Honestly, this game is a lot longer than I thought. It's so good. Feed on that. Oh, Leech Seed is probably not gonna be good here. I'm a grass type. Looks like this is a poison type place. I might be able to Leech Seed them. Crap. Aha! Oh. Got him. Sito? What? No more items. Oh, did I say on which floor are we gonna go punish Bad Mankey gang? Oh, just punish Bad Mankey, that's it. It didn't say which floor. Green gummy. Wait, that's not... Oh, it's a bug type. Then... yeah, give it to Best Bug. It's not Best Buy, but Best Bug. There you go. IQ roll sharply. Best Bug having big brain. Oh. Whoa, ambush? That's the first time. Sleep! Did they all just wake up? This is cool. I didn't know there's like it's the first time that I've seen something like this. What? Oh, you should do more earthquake. Sleep. Are they immune? No, they're not. So how did they wake up again? And back from movies to fight. Welcome back, Metal. Hopefully you had a wonderful movie. Also, hi. Hope you're doing good. EP powder, Sea Dive Early Bird. Oh! They are way tougher. They are not manky, so this is just like a normal ambush, I feel like. This one. This two. I'm grass type. Oh, we have the music here? Oh, that's so nice. More green gummy. Here, Vespa can have it. Here. Status checker. A status problem will not use move that cause the same status problem. Oh. Was alien removals. A few parts I didn't like cause I like realism and science, but other than that, good movie? Is it like Xenomorph Alien? Because I do love Xenomorph. Like I remember playing Alien Isolation twice, even though I'm absolutely terrified of horror game. But just to look at Alien, I played it twice. Oh! Oh, Xenomorph is so cool! Money. I can actually snipe here, can I? Oh, too far. Perfect. Alright, we're going down. Unless that... What? Wait, do I need to kill all... Oh no, wait, I might have messed up. I think I might have to like get every Pokemon in that map. Oh, that just occurred to me. Yeah, I might have messed up here. But there was no Mankey. Maybe they were hiding. Shit. Nice. Total has so much HP. 82? Wait, no, I also have 82. Heal seed? More green gummy. Oh, best bug is dying. And I got to a dead end. And water cheap. Oh, status problem. Heal the band. Oh, it heal. Oh, it heals status problem. That's really nice. I orange berry your health. Okay, that's still fine. Yeah, we should just go. I might have messed up the punish bad monkey quest. More green gummy.